It's a real pleasure to be here. I love marketing and advertising. In fact, it's all I've ever done for my entire career, which is approaching 25 years, which kind of blows my mind because I don't think I've lived that old, but... Thank you. See, you always need help, no matter how old you are. I think that's really the point I'm trying to make. But I do. I love what I do. It's a lot of fun. And what's great about the company that I work with, NRS Media, I'm actually from Atlanta. And what's great about my company is we have these amazing offices in London, in Sydney, and Toronto, and Bogota, and Cape Town. And guess what? I've never been to any of them, so who cares? But what is cool about our company is that we are worldwide, and we study what big advertisers do, the Cokes, the IBM, the McDonald's, and we say, what do they do really, really well? And how can we apply that on a local level and do really well on ourselves? Because oftentimes, you know, it's not a question of doing better. Sometimes we know better, but that doesn't necessarily mean we do better, right? Like, for example, who has a gym membership? Yes, a few. Yeah. But is everybody like ashamed to admit they have a gym membership? Right? But now, and who's totally not going to make it to the gym today? Right? Now, all of us. See? Right. So, you know, we know better, but that doesn't mean we always do better. But what is amazing about, you know, how we work worldwide is that no matter what language we're in, or what culture we're in, there's one thing that doesn't change, and what's that? People, right? We don't change. So when it comes to marketing and advertising, these are the things that we do. And of course, as business owners, we're so busy working in our business that we don't have time to work on our business, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today, how we can work on our business and do really well with our marketing, and how we can do better with our own marketing and advertising. So that's what we're going to spend time on that, and on how we can be the most effective we can be. Now, when it comes to your business, you know, we start out your business. There's so many things that you work on, right? We check off the boxes, all the different things that we work on. And of course, it's a wide range of things, from people to training and products, distribution systems, finance, inventory, merchandising, pricing, right? That's just half of it, because the list is endless, isn't it? It goes on and on and on. But what about our marketing, our branding, our imaging, our image of who we are? That can be overwhelming too, right? I mean, do we spend as much time working on our marketing and advertising as we do those other elements in our business? Chances are we stay pretty busy, and it can be kind of overwhelming, right? And sometimes marketing is viewed as the fluff, the easy stuff. Or even worse yet, it gets put on a back burner, and then it gets overwhelming and confusing, and it takes some time, and we sometimes don't give it the attention that we know it deserves. So today, for a moment, I'd like you to imagine that your company, if you will, is a physical, like a human being, a body, right? And then imagine that you and your management, your marketing team, your management team, you're the brains behind the operation, allegedly, right? And then imagine for a moment that your products and your services, that those are the muscles, the arms and the legs, and the things that help do the work, right? And then imagine that your customers, they're your lifeblood. Because without them, we wouldn't survive very long, right? So we need our customers. We like them a lot. Just like we like oxygen. We like that, right? It's a good thing. Now, let's think of this analogy. Your marketing, that's your self-image. It's that reflection that you see in the mirror. It's how you think about yourself. It's how you feel about yourself. And it's how you present yourself to the world. His tie looks better than mine, for example. Teresa fixed it, right? It's all about that self-image that you give out to the world, right? But we certainly know what a bad self-image can do, right? It can really be harmful. Who here has children? Right? Good portion of the room, right? We know the power of giving us good self-image to our children, and how we foster that in the next generation. It's important, not only for ourselves, but for our next generation. Well, just like it is for our company, we know how important it is. And of course, we know how powerful an unhealthy image can do and how it can hurt us. Because at the very least, it really, a bad self-image, it can get in the way of reaching levels of success that you could have otherwise achieved. And really, that's what a lot of self-help books are about, right? How to dress for success, or think and grow rich, or how to win friends and influence people, because that's what it's all about, your self-image. And at its worst, a poor self-image, that can damage an otherwise healthy body or business. Think about it. That's where illnesses creep in, right? That's where a common cold can set in for 3 or 4 days, maybe even a week or two. Or something devastating like a flu that takes you out or sends you to the hospital, right? A poor self-image can really go that far. And that may seem a little like an extreme example, but that's the power of it. And in business, though, a poor self-image, it can damage an otherwise healthy body. And ultimately, it costs you time and money, and can stop you from making the profits that you do, in fact, you've always wanted to achieve. But let's face it, you can have the best products in the world, right? You can have the best service in the world. But if the world doesn't even know about them, how on earth are you ever going to reach that potential? Right? So just like a doctor, let's go have some fun. I'm going to ask some 5 key questions that I'd like you to consider that they're all help designed to give you a good prognosis on your health, your business marketing. So let's think about each one of these. Question number 1. How clearly do you communicate the consumer's needs and desires that your business provides? Number 2, how emotionally engaged are consumers with your brand? How emotionally engaged are your consumers? I love M&M's advertising. They're some of my favorites just because they're fun. And I love the one where the yellow and the red M&M are in the cabinet. The guy's like, getting the ball. And they're like, you get the ball, right? Or better yet, the brown M&M's at the party and the red M&M walks off. And, oh, it's that kind of. See, I don't even have to finish it, right? Right? Oh, it's that kind of party. And that song starts playing, right? It's too funny, right? We're emotionally engaged. We laugh with M&M's. We may cry with the Kodak commercial, right? It can happen. Number 3, have you clearly articulated your market position? Avis. We're number 2, we try harder. That's a great opportunity where they took their market position and literally used it. Number 4, are you clearly differentiating yourself from your competitors? And ultimately, this is where you're creating a true brand identity. And then number 5, and most importantly, is how well known are you in the Columbus market? When you came in today, you were given a workbook. That's our compliment for you to take away, and we'd love to work with you on that so that we can help you provide clarity and focus on all of these things so that your business is, in fact, in tip-top shape, performance, and fitness. And at the end of today's presentation, we will introduce you to a proven marketing concept that will inject some adrenaline, give you some good energy in your marketing activity, and contribute to its long-term marketing success. And this means, I mean, what does this mean? It means delivering tangible results, because that's important, isn't it? Absolutely. And increasing your health in all of these indicators and creating a real impact for your business at a fraction of the cost that you might normally pay. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, so I'll be the marketing doctor, and we're going to check the health level of your business and marketing plan. But now most people, they don't realize it, but a market is, in fact, it's just simply a group of consumers who share a common need or a common desire. So question number 1, the more clearly that you define that need or desire, the more effectively you can communicate with your market, and the more compelling that your business proposition becomes. Now, for example, this may sound strange, but a kitchen isn't exactly selling kitchens. It sounds strange, doesn't it? But what are they selling? Right? Think about it. You have a party at your house, where does everybody end up? In the kitchen. That's right. I had a house that had a pretty decent sized great room, and then this is my last house. And then I had a kitchen, and there was probably 2 or 3 of those tables put together. A full kitchen. It was like it was built in 1920, so it was really old and weird, and So the kitchen was so small. I'd have 20 people over. I swear, we would find a way to get 20 people into that size space. It's insane. I'm thinking, I'm not in college anymore. Don't sit in a sofa, right? You guys know what I mean, right? I love the fact that the kitchen is the heart of the home, right? I love a good dining room table that's all beat up. You know why? Because it shows some good family conversations. So the kitchen, it's the heart of the home. It's where you gather. It's where you entertain. It's where you have people over. It's where you celebrate. It's where you cry, right? It's the heart of the home. So you're not really buying a stove or a kitchen or a cabinet. You're buying the life that you want and the life you want to have. Or maybe you're just trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? Because Sally got a new kitchen. I want one. I mean, that happens, right? I love this. Here's a great example of a local commercial right here in Columbus that does it.
Time to hit the water with Extreme Marine, the Valley's #1 leader in water sports. Have fun in the sun with the latest in personal watercraft like Sea-Doo, Yamaha, and Kawasaki, starting at a low $7,999. Sun Tracker pontoons starting at $9,995. Tahoe ski boats starting at $22,995. Also, check out our full inventory of new and used boats at extrememarine.com. Our new management and staff, along with our award-winning service department, will be there when you need them. Extreme Marine, investing in a lifetime of memories.
I love this commercial because the first time I saw it, I missed it. But maybe y'all caught it. The very last thing they said was, investing in a lifetime of memories, right? We all caught different things in that spot, right? I'm sure we all saw different things in 30 seconds. A lot of information in that spot, right? But what's amazing is like they showed a great showroom and some good inventory, award-winning sales services staff. I thought, oh, that was great. But what do we really? I mean, even they had some prices, right? I don't really remember what the prices were. But what do we remember?
Fun.
Yeah, fun. My family's going out on a pontoon. We're going to cook out. That's what I saw. Well, I think that's what I tell you. What I really saw was that if I have a jet ski, I'm going to have a full head of hair and a blonde all the time. Right? That's what I saw. And that's what we remember. It's a lifestyle. It's the benefit. And we really forget that in our advertising, the feature versus the benefit, right? It's very hard to remember that. Another good example is like, we've been in business since 1924. That's a great feature, isn't it? What's the benefit? Not really benefit. I mean, I think there are some ancillary benefits, like we're trustworthy, we're honest, and reputable. I mean, there's a lot of good things that come with it, so I'm not suggesting that it's a horrible advertising thing. But you want to tell people you're respectable and honest, and you've been in this for a long time. So sometimes that's a very subtle difference between a feature versus a benefit. So it can be very confusing. And likewise, not simple, but that's what we at WNHC do really, really well. As a Total Recall member, we will work closely with you to help you identify and define the benefits of your products and services so that you get to control the messages that you want your customers to receive. Question number 2. How emotionally engaged are consumers with your brand? The most successful brands in the world, they clearly communicate their benefits to engage us emotionally, don't they? One of my favorite advertisers, and it's got to be one of the best, of course, in the world, born right here in Columbus. What is it? What? Oh, you're right, it is Aflac. But older than Aflac. Yes, ma'am. Coca-Cola. Born in Columbus. Atlanta likes to say it's the home place. We all know it's Columbus, right? Absolutely. But I love that. 1977, who remembers that commercial on a hilltop, a candle? I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. You know, nod, we tap our foot, we smile, even if we're not even old enough to really remember it. Because I would argue that you're not old enough to remember that. Yes. No?
She's looking at me singing.
Oh, okay, that's probably why she's like, but right. But we remember that. That has that iconic feel to it. It made us feel something. We're emotionally engaged with it. So much, in fact, they gathered the children of all those people and did it again about 20 years later. And I think that's just amazing emotional engagement. And if you're younger, you might relate to the polar bears and the Santa Claus and things like that Coke does. They do such a great job with it. They do such a great job with it, they're really not even selling Coca-Cola. They're selling happiness in a bottle. Right? Another great example is Apple. We've become emotionally engaged with these people. We've got the cool, hip, good-looking guy that represents the Mac, and then we've got the awkward, goofy glasses, and I think his suit pants are probably too long. PC, right? We relate to these people. Which are you? I'm an Apple, I'm a Mac. We feel these things, right? And their marketing carries right on through to the iPad and the iPod and the iPad, right? Think about it. They had these commercials where people were dancing around, and these white, iconic headphones were hanging down. You all gotta have one, right? Now, there are other MP3 players out there, aren't there? But none of us want to figure it out, do we? So we've got to have one of these things. So much, in fact, we've become so emotionally engaged with Apple that we stand out in line. We stand in line for 12 hours for a whole night. And, oh, you've done this. I have to ask you for this. Be proud. It's okay. It's okay. So you've waited in line for a long time. What product out of curiosity did you have to have? Which one? The 5?
Yes.
Can you tell me the difference between the 4S and the 5?
No. But Verizon did it very well.
Verizon did a great job. Let's give them credit. Right? Truth is, the difference between the 4S and the 5 was like the camera size, the photo. It does, it matters, that's right, it matters, let me say that. It becomes so much, in fact, we're giving away an iPad mini when you register at the end of today's thing, we're going to give away an iPad at the end. It's the mini. Oh, we all got to start somewhere. But the truth is I already have an iPad. Does anybody here have an iPad? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. About half. That's usually about what it runs. Have an iPad? Okay. Well, apparently I need an iPad mini. Why? It's absolutely no different than the iPad that I already have, except it's smaller. And apparently I need it. I do want one. I kid you not. So we've become so emotionally engaged with these products that we're willing to make Apple the #1 business in the world, and they make something we don't even. That's powerful. Sometimes it's overwhelming, I think, when we think about it. So for a glowing marketing health of your brand and your advertising, we need to control that emotional response that we can get from customers. And then we need to back it up with the same customer experience and deliver it when they do business with us. So how emotionally engaged are your customers? You seriously want to know? Just ask them. It's very easy to do. The customer feedback survey, it's easy to implement. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can even do it online. Just ask. We've got an example in the workbook we provided as a way to just help you get started. Of course, the best indicators of how customers truly feel about us is the fact that they will do repeat business with us. They will come back again and again. And of course, if they're not happy, they'll vote with their feet and then won't return. Maybe even worse, they may notice some things online about or tell some people about what we don't do. Moving on to question number 3. Have you clearly articulated your market position? The world's most successful brands, they pick a market position and they own it. Nobody can touch them. And they're known for what they stand for. Take a look at these advertisements. Some local, some national. We're all familiar with these brands. We know what they stand for. We know what they sell. We know what we expect to pay if we went in there. We also know what level of service we should expect. And most importantly, we all just made a conscious emotional decision on whether or not we choose to do business with these people. Just by looking at them. We can look at the BMW logo and think, or if we're a Ford guy, we look at it and go, right? For whatever reason, right? Apple we've discussed. Guinness, we know about how much we pay for a beer. We may like dark and tan, or we may like Bud Light. That's just how we are. We have an emotional reaction to all these. Even McDonald's, for example. Who would argue that McDonald's is the best hamburger you've ever eaten in your life? No one. Right? But raise your hand if you've eaten at McDonald's in the last 6 months. Todd, you're okay. Oh, Todd, even raise your hand? We won't tell. We won't tell anyone.
We're closed on Sunday.
Todd is with Chick-fil-A, everyone. But yeah, see, that's true. But we have a reaction to it. Now, I'm telling you, McDonald's, we all know it's not the best hamburger, nor we've all eaten there. We know what to expect, we know what level of service we'd expect. And in contrast with Chick-fil-A, I mean, raise your hand if you had a great experience with Chick-fil-A. Like, seriously? Whoever took the words "my pleasure" and trademarked it?
Yeah.
I know, right? I mean, they make me feel grateful when I eat there. No, it's my pleasure.
They get one in the morning, they're the happiest people.
Right? That is my pleasure, thank you. My pleasure. No, my pleasure. No, my pleasure.
God said they better be.
We might have to pick on you a little bit, but it's all in good fun. But I think it's amazing. We have an emotional response just by seeing their logos on whether we do business with these people. Now, if I were to go on the street right now and ask potential customers about your business, what springs to mind when I give them your business name, what do you think their response would be? We talked about cartridge world in the back. I'd been to Albany, and I didn't know a whole lot about it, but you're not just selling cartridges, you're selling the environmental aspects of that. You're selling the cost factor to save money on that, right? There's a lot more going on than just a cartridge. Absolutely. So we do have that level of engagement. So you have to be absolutely clear about who you are and what you stand for. More importantly, how would they describe where they see you in comparison to your competitors? Let's take a painkiller. I have a headache, I'm going to go to the counter and I'm going to get some fill in blanks, anyone? Ibuprofen Tylenol. She apparently takes both. right? I know. But you know, that's right. And if you want to see the benefit, you might get Advil, right? 2 wide-end spectrums for pain relief, right? Completely different products, actually, at the end of the day, right? I get ibuprofen and acetaminophen mixed up all the time. I get them mixed up so bad that I have to write on the bottles because I don't know which is which, right? Like ibuprofen, don't take that, we get this one. Like, I get them confused all the time. But I do know if I want to reduce my fever, it's Tylenol. Completely. But then think of all the brand positions that are in between. You have Bayer, which is actually, in fact, the real thing, aspirin, right? And then you've got a store brand from CVS and Walgreens. Women and Motrin seem to like that one. Excedrin for your migraine, right? Excedrin is known for their migraine headaches. You've got Aleve for the anti-inflammatory. So they all own these different market positions. And they all do a really good job with them, too. And it's all about high cost and high value, or even low cost and high value. Because that's the value and the cost that you get on that position that you have. So what kind of brand are you? The simple fact is that a healthy marketing plan will dictate the kinds of words you use, the kinds of phrases you use, and the images that you use to engage effectively with your ideal customers. And if you don't have a marketing position statement, now is a really good time to start. Ultimately, potential customers don't instantly know who you are, where you are, what you stand for, how on earth are they going to choose where to buy. I love the fact that I'm loving it. Red Bull gives you wings. Just 2 of these are all very iconic at this point. I'm loving it. How long do you think McDonald's has been using that now? Care to guess? Anyway. Wow. Okay, you win actually. Some people say like, oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Right? That's a lot. Some people just think that. I think we think that when it comes to marketing. They've actually been using it for 11 years. Right? Justin Timberlake wrote it. Interesting fact of the day. And they've been using it for 11 years. We get sick of our own advertising, right? Because we say, oh, change it, update it, give it a new color, give it a new font, do something. It's the same thing. Here's the truth of the matter. We get sick of our own advertising. But after 11 years, I'm loving it, right? Not McDonald's, not the best hamburger in the world, but at 2 a.m. on Friday night, I'm loving it. Right? But before that, it was, you deserve a... Right. And for me as a kid growing up in the 70s, 2 Aldi pie, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onion, on sesame seed bun, right? It becomes fun, right? So it becomes generational at this point because it becomes so iconic what the things that we do. Can you see how important it is that the way that we feel when it comes to parting with our hard-earned money drives a lot of our motivation? And we will work with you to help you position your brand effectively so that you have an indisputable advantage in the marketplace. On to question number 4. Are you clearly differentiating yourself from your competitors? What do you offer that's unique? How do you market your products and your services differently to your competitors? And are you making yourself clearly stand out from them? In other words, what's your company's DNA? I love the fact that as human beings, we're like 98% alike, right? We have hair, we go to work, we have children, we live, we die, right? We've been on the planet for thousands of years. You know, arguably we're all about the same. But that 2% difference, it's going to make us worlds apart, isn't it? So that DNA really is important to set us apart from the competition. What makes us stand out, right? I just think that's amazing when we stop and think about it. You see, as consumers, we like to have a choice. I think that's a great thing. We compare and we contrast our various options long before we make our decisions, don't we? Right? Ladies, shopping is it's a sport, right? Absolutely. And if the difference between the 2 choices that we make, if it's not clear or if it's not obvious, then we make our purchase decision based on one thing and one thing alone. What's that? Got it. Price. Price and cost. If we don't know the difference, it's just price. My experience is that most of the local businesses cannot afford to keep competing on price, unless that's all you ever want to be competing on. Because we know as business owners, that's not the normal platform that sets us apart, isn't it? Absolutely. So you have to make yourself stand out. You have to be different. You get the ball, right? As a Total Recall member, we will examine your business closely to find out your unique selling proposition. And our creative team, we will ensure that we give you and your ideal customers the right message that appeals to them and differentiates you which in the long run, that will enable you to cash in on the profits that you deserve. This is probably the most important question, and that's question number 5. That no doubt, there's no doubt that this is the most important. Are you instantly recognized? Are you instantly recognized in Columbus? If you're not listed in the top 3 on a potential customer's mental shopping list, you're probably not even going to be considered when it comes time to make a purchase. Simply because businesses 1, 2, or 3 will sell to them before they even consider you. It's pretty simple. And this is why this is the most important question you have to ask yourself. Because it has a direct connection to your sales. Direct. Because the higher your brand awareness, the greater your sales. Period. And there's really only one way to ensure that you are in the top 3, and that's to advertise consistently. You have to be there. When you stop inviting people to do business with you, what happens? Stop coming. By advertising constantly, you put your name firmly on the mental shopping list of potential customers in Columbus. And what's more is you remind existing customers that you currently have why they should continue to do business with you over and over again, and tell their friends. Is there a business here that advertises constantly through the year? I mean, if you do, that's great. For those of us who didn't raise our hand, why don't we advertise constantly? Again, same answer. Absolutely, it's about the cost, right? If you could afford to advertise all year round, would you?
Yes.
Yeah, all day long. If I was Coke, heck yeah, right? In my experience, though, the opportunity to keep the brand at the forefront of the customer shopping mental list, it's a no-brainer for every business owner that I've ever spoken to. And I meet hundreds of business owners every year. And most of them, they tend to advertise this way. They advertise when businesses has either slowed down by injecting some cash into a short-term call to action, or doing an advertising campaign or sporadic promotion, sale, or event, according to the seasonality of the business. Is there anybody here that's not open year-round? Right, we're all open year-round, okay. So am I right in saying that the only reason we don't do this is cost? I promise you that every company out there right now that's actively promoting themselves is taking an unfair share of the thousands of dollars that are being spent in this market every single day. And why is that? It's simply because their brand springs to mind immediately when people need what they sell. And if you're not promotionally active, then you're simply missing out. Advertise consistently, and you'll raise the awareness of your brand over time, and you'll control where you sit on that mental shopping list. You give us the opportunity, and we will work hard to put you in the top 3 of thousands of mental shopping lists so that you don't have to rely on these risky, short-term advertising sporadic campaigns to deliver long-term profitable results. Okay, so that's your initial marketing health check. How are we feeling? Pretty good? Anybody queasy? All right, just checking. When it comes to the remedy, we believe that we have the right marketing prescription for your business. After all, customers are the lifeblood of your business, and that's what we provide best. And it's all about gaining that return on your marketing investment that you need by reaching the sufficient number of people that you need to be successful. WXTX can, in fact, deliver the right customers in abundance for your business. And research confirms this. American Idol, #1 show in prime last season. NFL on Fox, performing terrifically. Judge Judy outperforming 2 of the local TV stations here at 6 o'clock in the news, which I think is amazing. We do local promotions, so we have exciting customer engagement involvement with your business with things like our X Factor auditions. We have social media and digital resources with our online sites, plus we do deals and Twitter and coupons. Plus, I think our differentiating point, if you will, a 7 p.m. news and a 10 p.m. newscast. Only ones in the marketplace. That's our differentiating point. And then other great shows that you probably watch: Glee, Bones, the Daytona 500, Major League Baseball, NFL Sunday, SEC basketball, football, of course, Atlanta Falcons preseason and NFL season. And don't forget the Super Bowl. Right? That's coming up in February, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah, February. I forget what month it is.
Next year.
Yeah, next year. I said the wrong year. But yeah, these are exciting things. Our customers come in these packages. And so it's our job to make sure that we use them to get with our customers. Now, we all know that a healthy diet and regular exercise, we know that that's good for a healthy body, right? So it's in the same way, relevant, constant, and consistent